Good evening. This is Today and Now. Today and Now comes to you every Friday from Manchester City. For the last 2 weeks, we were not able to be on air as we were expecting, but we did show you the show that we did last time. But today, we are on air, and I want to welcome each and every one of you, those who are watching from Manchester City and those who are watching from everywhere. This is Today and Now. My name is Job Ombati. Today on the show are very, very important people who have come to this city to help develop our city. And what I mean is this. In our show, we bring you people from various areas to teach you or to inform you about various topics, about health, education, family, and everything. So today, I'm very delighted to have my friend here, Robert Santiago, the president of Latinos on the Move. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I've been here. I've not seen you since the year started.
Just running around like crazy, you know, trying to get everybody, help everybody, and everybody help me.
Very good. Good to see you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Robert Santiago has come with a guest, and I will let him to introduce the guest.
This is the lovely lady by the name of Kirsten, who is here to help us learn about our health and diabetes.
Excellent. Welcome to the show, Kirsten.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
As I've always told people in my show, my viewers, is that we bring people, experts, sportsmen, politicians, all kinds of people to the show. And now you are here today. I'm so delighted.
Well, I'm so honored, actually.
So I would like you to start with, so our viewers can know you. If you can say what you do and where you've come from today, so they don't think you just came from around here.
Well, I'm a diabetes expert. I work with Roche Diagnostics, where I teach insulin pump therapy. So the first thing I just want to make sure that the audience knows and is clear, I teach insulin pump therapy. This is the pump. I'll talk to everybody about diabetes and our particular product, but the opinions that I express are mine solely, not the company's. So I just wanted to let everybody know that first.
That's very great. So for those of you who are watching this show and you have people, maybe family members or maybe yourself or your children or a friend who is diabetic, so you can listen today, and the information you are going to get is free information. And as he has said very clearly, these are our own opinion. And as I told you before, in my show, we bring people to help develop our community. So this is free service, Mr. Santiago.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are trying to build our community.
Well, we're trying to make everybody healthy so that,
Healthy,
way
happy,
we
safe,
can become a productive part of the city.
And that's why Today and Now comes to the show. So I will want to ask this question. You live in Boston.
I do.
And this company you work with, do you go out to the community teaching people about how they can live with diabetes?
Yeah, so what I do is I actually travel throughout New England. I go to Maine, New Hampshire, I'm in Massachusetts, and Rhode Island.
Wow.
And so I've got a pretty decent territory, and I speak Spanish fluently as well.
Are you Spanish?
No.
You learn Spanish?
I learned Spanish.
And she does speak it well.
Very good. You can improve it. Yeah, good. So
yes, we did converse. So I actually love learning languages and working with a variety of people in different cultures. My background is that I got trained at the Joslin Clinic in Boston, so at the diabetes center there. And from there I left and started working now with this company, Roche Diagnostics, where I teach insulin pump therapy. Along with that, I teach a lot about nutrition because it's a huge component of diabetes. And my background, I'm an exercise physiologist, so I'm a certified diabetes educator and an exercise physiologist. Most certified diabetes educators are nurses or dietitians. So I'm one of the few EPs, exercise people, which is nice for my patients because I specifically always want to have people following and practicing lifestyle modification. Lifestyle modification, which we say diet and exercise, is really the mainstay. It's the baseline of what all of us should be doing, regardless of whether or not we have diabetes.
You see, Mr. Santiago, she talks like an expert.
She is an expert.
I don't get most of these things, but those people who have diabetes, I think they understand. So I will beg to go back again and ask you a question regarding what you have said about exercise. How does that work, or how does it go with the sickness? How does it help?
Okay, I love talking about exercise.
Good. Yeah, I want that one. Yeah.
So, well, let me just kind of backtrack and explain about diabetes first, so there's just so we all on the same page.
The same page. Yeah, at least for me.
Yes.
Yeah, go.
So
That's cool.
the body, the pancreas makes insulin. Now, in diabetes, type 1 and type 2, the body's not making enough insulin or any insulin. In type 1, they're not making any insulin whatsoever. In type 2, it's not enough, and over time, less and less and less.
So these categories depend on how much insulin is in the body.
Well,
the
difference between type 1 and type 2, they're very different. Type 1 is what's called an autoimmune disease. The body self-attacks itself, and it kills the beta cells of the pancreas, that the beta cells make insulin, and all of a sudden there's a quick diagnosis of diabetes. Type 2 is a slower progression. It happens over years. There's a genetic component and a lifestyle component as well. We see it in lots of communities, in our Asian community, our Latino community, in any kind of Black, African American community, a lot more type 2 diabetes. We used to call it adult onset. We don't call it adult onset anymore because our children are getting type 2.
Very well explained. If you are watching this, so this is Today and Now, bear with us and get this in a very vital information. It's going to save your life, your loved one's life, or somebody you know. This is very important. Mr. Santiago, let me first of all thank you for getting Kirsten to come to the show.
Sure.
Because you are a leader of the organization which is coming up, and we are getting so many people.
Sure.
Let me start by asking you, why are you incorporating people like Kirsten in the movement?
Well, first of all, let me tell you that, to be honest, she contacted us, and she had a message that she wanted to explain out to the people here in the community, and thank God that we had the forum where she can be able to express her message and get it out. And then we were very fortunate to meet you again and be able to get it to your community, and hopefully, they'll reach out and start asking questions. Again, we're very fortunate to have her, and anybody that comes that wants to help the community and wants to help the health of our children and our families and friends, we more than welcome.
Now, and also to recap on sort of what we were talking about and why exercise is so important, is because in diabetes there's not enough insulin produced, and insulin is this key to unlock the door and let the glucose get into the muscle cells and all the cells of the body. Glucose, or sugar is another thing people will say, is really my gasoline for my body. It's what my body needs to run. And if I don't have that insulin key to unlock the door, the blood sugars get really, really high. It gets jammed and
so
stuff.
the exercises help this insulin open the door.
And exercise is actually a different key altogether.
Very good.
I call it the golden key. It's the golden key. It's the golden egg. Because you unlock the door, you don't need a shot, it's free, no copay involved. Right. And after doing just 30 minutes of physical activity, those doors stay wide open for a good 24 hours.
So those people who are sick with diabetes, are they able to go and just do those exercises?
They can do any kind of exercise. I mean, obviously it's based on, just like anybody else, what limitations do you have, knees, back, whatever. But you want, even if you don't have diabetes, to prevent it.
Sure.
You want to be exercising to make sure you unlock the doors all the time. And that means that your body will need to produce less insulin. So the reason why obesity and diabetes go hand in hand is, imagine if I had an extra 70 pounds on me. My body needs to produce, let's say, 70 extra pounds of insulin every single day, 24/7, all day, all night. And eventually my pancreas says, I'm done, I'm fatigued, I can't do it anymore. And that's when diabetes presents itself.
Let me ask you a question, Kirsten. For a person that does not exercise, how would they know the symptoms of diabetes? That, for example, I've heard some people that say, I'm always tired, I'm always wore out, and I'm not exercising. would that be early signs?
Yeah, the type 2 is very slow progression,
Right.
and so you don't see the symptoms, you don't recognize them right away because
Right.
they happen so slowly. So you'll find that there's frequent urination, frequent thirst, frequent hunger, you're tired or you're lethargic. But the biggest thing for most people is they have wounds that don't heal well.
Okay.
They might have some tingling in their fingers, or their vision gets blurry, and most people haven't been to the doctor consistently.
Right.
So all of a sudden they go and they find they have diabetes, and they've actually when they get diagnosed, they've already had it for 10 years.
Now, let me ask you another question now, because you gave me some symptoms there that some people would say, well, maybe that progression is because of me getting older.
Right.
For example, the tingling feelings
right.
on the fingertips, or the vision, or the frequent urination.
Right. I get up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, maybe I drink too much.
So how are they able to determine whether it's because you're getting old or is it because of diabetes?
They really need to go to their doctor.
Right.
They really need to go to their doctor for a blood test, and the doctor will do a fasting blood glucose test. So they'll check the blood sugar in the early morning. That's one indicator. However, there's another thing called the hemoglobin A1C, which looks at your blood sugars on average for the past 3 months. And there's another test which is called an oral glucose tolerance test, which it's sort of like what they do with women that are pregnant. They make them drink this syrupy drink, and then they watch the blood sugars for the next several hours to see how you respond to that drink. So there's a variety of different tests that the doctor can do, but that's the best thing to do anytime you're having any of those symptoms. And type 2 diabetes is a progression. Most people start off with using just oral agents, or we say pills, and they can manage it okay because they have enough pancreas function to be able to use the pills. But as years go on, the pancreas produces less insulin and the pills don't work anymore, so they have to go to insulin. And people they don't go on insulin soon enough. And as a result, they get a lot of complications. And so that's really also my message, is that the insulin that you get from a shot is the same as the kind that your body makes. Most people think it's going to cause blindness or give a problem with their kidneys. The blindness and the complications from diabetes is due to high blood sugars for extended periods of time. And because people postpone starting and initiating insulin therapy, their blood sugars have been going high for a long time, they have complications. So they might start insulin and then go blind, and there was just a coincidence that it happened at the same time. The reason why they went blind when they started insulin was because of the years of not being proactive with their diabetes health care.
Sure.
I want to say to our viewers that this is very vital information, and as you have heard from Kirsten, is that you get your blood tested. When you go to your doctor, please ask them to check all these things. You don't want to be 5 years late, that you have already got diabetes 5 years ago. It is better to check when you go for your annual physical checkup. At the same time, I want to bring it to your attention that in our show, some people wrote to me and asked whether we are doing this like a commercial. We are not doing business. What we are doing here is to help develop and build our community. So this information we are giving you is free information coming to you, and if you want to give the community more information about what you do, maybe you are a teacher, you are a surgeon, you are a coach, whatever you do, and you would like the community to know about you, about the organization or the business or service you offer, please call us and we will bring you to the show. Together we are going to make our community a better place to live. At the same time, information is power. It's going to help save lives. And before we finish the show, we are going to give you a link on how you can get in touch with Kirsten, the organization she works with, the company, and get more information so you can use this information for your own benefit.